Hi, I'm Heather, and I'm the director of Clouds NCIC, which is the first social enterprise in the UK to work with people who have hoarding issues. And I thought I'd make a little video to go with a booklet that I have. This is the booklet, which helps you to make a start. Because I get lots and lots of phone calls from people who have decided that they want to make a start, but then they don't know how to go about it. And so they don't want to lose momentum. So I can send them this video now, which hopefully will help. But the booklet is something you can write in and keep notes in as well. So if you'd like it, there's the address is at the end of this video. So this is a nice saying here. No matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. So when you're looking at where to start, it's always good to find something small that you want to start with. The suggestions that I'm going to give you in this video are all about self-belief and persistence. And I'm going to explain that your brain can really be your friend, because at the moment it probably isn't being your friend, but you have to know how to talk to it. You have to teach your brain how to be your friend. So I think it's useful to do a bit of research into yourself to start with. So first of all, have a look at how do you think you got to where you are? And I'm assuming because you're listening to this and you've asked for it, that you are thinking about not wanting to be where you are any longer. So how did this build up? How did this happen? When did it happen? What are the stories that are in your life that have caused this? And to do this so that it will work, you need to be really honest with yourself. Nobody's going to look at this. This is an exercise that's just for you. So you can be as open and as honest as you like, but you do need to be honest with you. You do need to listen to what's really going on. And so have a think about how did this occur? How long has it been going on? And then, as I said earlier, your brain can be your friend, but you have to learn what you might have been saying to your brain that's stopping it from being your friend. And to be able to do that, you need to learn what is a useful thought and what isn't a useful thought. So some unuseful thoughts can be, I can't do it, or I don't know where to start, or it's just overwhelming. These are the most common things that people say. And that is absolutely true, but that is what your brain is hearing. And so that is what your brain is providing you with. It's providing you with overwhelm. It's providing you with inability. It's providing you with not being organized enough. And although this sounds crazy and part of you might already be fighting with this gate saying, no, but you don't understand, but no, have a listen to what you say. So one example of a lady that is now right over the other side of her journey, and now she has the house that she desired and envisaged, she heard herself saying, I haven't got time. She said, I haven't got time to do all this work. When can I take time to do this? I've got a full-time job. I've got a dog that I need to walk. I've got a daughter who I need to visit who's disabled and she needs my time at the weekend. When have I got time to do this? And she realized that she'd actually been telling herself that she hadn't got time. And so she hadn't. Her brain had gone, all right, you haven't got time. That's fine. So she started to say, I have got time. And she got up 10 minutes earlier and just did 10 minutes every morning. So work out what phrases might be useful to you. So that might be, I think if I had someone to help me, I could make a start. Or it might be, I don't want anybody to help me, but I can do this and I can do it on my own. Or I do have time, as the lady I mentioned earlier said. But work out what are the unhelpful things that you're saying to yourself, and then, or the useless things, and then make them useful. And you need to learn how to change talk, we call it. This is change talk, so we'll talk about change in a bit. But it sounds daft, and if you can speak to yourself out loud, great, because as I said earlier, this is your journey and you're doing this and nobody else is going to oversee it. But talking out loud to yourself is really powerful. Don't worry about feeling mad, you're not. And this is how you retrain your thinking, because everybody feels that their brains basically do look after them. And if you say, oh, I don't want any money, I don't want to be rich, then your brain will go, yeah, but you do really, don't you? You would like a bit of money. You wouldn't mind winning the lottery. Well, no, it doesn't. Brains are very, very complex, but they actually operate on simple instructions. It's a bit like what you put into your computer, you get back out. If you type a wrong thing in, it doesn't take you to the right place. And if you put a wrong thing into your head, it will follow that wrong path. And so make sure that what you're saying to yourself is not what you're frightened of, it's what you really want. And the way you do that is to say, so if you do want to be rich, then say, I want to earn a lot of money every week, and be specific about the amount of money you want. Because if you say, oh, I don't, you know, I don't deserve to be rich, or I'm not one of those, or I don't like rich people. All of those things are just telling your brain that you don't want any money. So if you say, this is all my stuff and I want to keep it, then that's exactly what will happen. But if you say, I love my stuff, but I realize some of it has to go, and what I keep will be the stuff that I love the most, that is a nice clear instruction for your brain to follow. Change. I said we'd talk about change, and change is a very interesting topic, because change can be very exciting, but it can also be very fearful, frightening. It makes you feel fearful. And those two emotions feel very similar. They both feel like butterflies. So you might have tried to sort or clear things out on your own. You might have invited a friend that wasn't, although there might be a lovely friend, they're not the right friend to do this because they have their own ideas of what they'd like to do. And then that might feel like failure. And then you get resigned to the fact that, you know, this is going to be like this forever. I'm not going to find the right person. I'm obviously one of those people that can't be helped. This isn't true. Change is there. Change is exciting. Change is possible. And sometimes change feels uncomfortable. And you might have gone up to that point of feeling uncomfortable and then shied away from it. If you feel uncomfortable, once you've decided to do this, going through, letting go some of your items, that's fine. That is change happening. That discomfort needs to be ridden through. And you need to have that trust in yourself, that self-belief that I mentioned earlier, that you can do this and you will get through this. And you are acknowledging and noticing that you're feeling uncomfortable, but you know that that discomfort is change happening. So if you are keen to make a start, one of the first things that you really need to have a good and honest look at is acquisition. So how do things come into your home? Do you buy them? Do you find them? Do you acquire them? Do people give them to you? Whatever it is and however it comes in, you need to have a look at how you can slow that down. Because if it keeps coming in, even though you're letting things go, then you still just have a status quo. Things won't be changing very much. They'll just be swapping one for the other. So some of the ways of but you need to put something good in for you. Because if you say, right, I'm not allowed to buy anything, then you probably will feel a little bit miffed by that, or a little bit bored, or I've got nothing to look forward to, because acquiring things always comes with a promise. You know, I've just bought some new shampoo, which means I'm going to have shiny hair, or I've just bought a lovely new dress that I really want to wear out. and people will comment on it and I'll feel great. Or I've just bought some art materials and I'm going to start painting pictures and then I'm going to give them to people for presents. And all those thoughts are comforting thoughts. And so it's very difficult to let go of that idea. So you need to swap it with something else. So maybe you can put off buying things. If you buy things online, for example, this is quite easy to do. Online buying is far too easy because it's painless. You don't even have to get out of your chair to do it. But after you've bought lots of things and the moment has passed and then they arrive and you think, why did that? Now my credit card bill's even bigger. And you have that high and then you have a low. But if you put it on a wish list, then you put off that it's between 30 to 90 seconds. This has been proven that you get that flash in your brain that goes, I've got to have that, I've got to have that, I've got to have that. But if you put it somewhere on a wish list, or even if you're in a shop, walk round and calm down for 5 minutes. And then if you do keep thinking about that thing and you keep thinking about it and you keep thinking about it, you can go back to the wish list and buy it. But I know from the wish lists that I make, when I review them, half the time I don't even remember why I wanted to buy that thing. I'd just seen it or it been advertised to me. So learn to know your patterns of why you're buying. And then the good feeling that you get when you actually acknowledge that you didn't buy something. Because when you don't buy something, you're taking control. And when you're taking control, that feels really good. That in itself feels great. That is a high that doesn't have the low of reading your credit card bill. That's a high that carries on and you'll want more of that. So that's a great way of accruing something nice that's free. Control. Space is also free. Lots of people decide that they're going to swap stuff for space. They're going to hoard space by getting rid of things. And that feels good. So you're looking for swaps in acquisition. How can you distract yourself? How can you reward yourself without buying something? How can you make yourself feel good achieving certain goals without going back to the old habits of rewarding yourself? And this is a nice phrase as well. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. There's another saying here as well. How do you eat an elephant? And it's a little bit at a time. Not that I want to eat an elephant, but so don't look at the whole task. If you have a house and all of it's very full, then looking at the whole task will just overwhelm you. Overwhelm is paralyzing. And you want to find things that stimulate you and make you feel good and make you feel positive and make you feel capable and in control. So, for example, if you take that bookcase in the picture, don't do the whole bookcase. Perhaps do that little section at the top, take 10 books or 5 books and go through those, but do it regularly. And if in the 5 books, then you only let go of 1, well, that's better than none at all. So that is a win. So small wins, and acknowledge small wins and learn to praise yourself for the small wins, but do them regularly, because this persistence is what gets the job done. This is what changes the habit. This is what reinforces the new behavior that you're learning, doing it regularly. So you don't have to do it to death. If you decide to do 10 minutes a day, that's absolutely marvelous. And then have the weekend off. But take charge of your persistent actions, because that's where it starts to become second nature. That is when your brain has been retrained and you just do it automatically. But you do have to acknowledge that and know. And when you do your 10 minutes in the day, stop and say, right, I've done my 10 minutes. I'm all right. I can have the rest of the day to myself. Don't let the niggle of the overwhelm get back at you, because that will take all your energy away and you don't want it to. And know that you are in charge. And very often it doesn't feel as though you are. Very often it feels as though the things that you own are in charge of you. In the beginning, you might have done this for a sense of control, for a feeling of something that you could have control over. But in the end, that control started to control you. And none of this is true. You are in charge, and you are in charge of what you want. But you have to be clear about what you want. And hopefully this has helped you to get a little way there. So I've finished now, and I hope this has at least shone a small light on the tasks that you have ahead, and good luck with those tasks. I'm sure that if you have asked to see this video, you're already on the path. And if you'd like the booklet, then please send me an email with your name and address, and I'll post you a book out. And then hopefully you'll share your story with me. So thank you very much. Bye.